Post-apocalyptic movies serve as a compelling lens through which the human experience is examined, exploring themes of survival, resilience, and morality in drastically altered worlds. Let's take a look at the top 20 best post-apocalyptic movies all time right now.
God didn't do this. We did.
I Am Legend. In the near future, scientists have found a cure for cancer, but after testing, 99% of the population has turned into infectious mutant ghouls. Dr. Neville is one of the remaining percent of healthy people. He walks around empty New York, hunts antelopes and sets traps for the infected, and at night, he tries to develop a vaccine and sends messages to possible survivors. On March 4th, 2022, a sequel was announced, which will be based on an alternate ending in which Neville survived. Post-apocalyptic survival movie, The Road, based on the novel of the same name written by Cormac McCarthy. After a series of cataclysms, states and cities are destroyed. All plants and animals perish. The remaining people eat canned food and sometimes, out of despair, they eat each other. A father and son walk to the coast along a road strewn with ash, hoping that life still remains there. Many trials and dangers await them along the way.
Hello? Are you okay?
Post-apocalyptic horror, 28 Days Later, tells about Jim. He woke up from a coma in a hospital where he had been lying for 28 days. During this time, an unknown virus turned people into zombies and the survivors into victims. The main character, along with several survivors, try to exterminate the walking dead. All of England is engulfed in an epidemic, and the world is rapidly plunging into chaos. The Book of Eli. The lonely hero Eli is one of the few who survived the nuclear catastrophe that shook the world. He wanders through unfriendly, deserted cities, exchanges all his money for water, and never parts with a mysterious book. Carnegie, the mayor of one of the towns and the leader of the bandit marauders, is extremely interested in this book and wants to steal it from Eli.
I told you weren't gonna get that back.
Movie Snowpiercer is based on the French climate fiction graphic novel. Set on Earth, the near future. 17 years ago, a man-made disaster occurred on the planet. Life on the planet survived only in a giant train, rushing non-stop along the Trans-Eurasian Highway. The ruling elite lives in the first carriages of the train, and ordinary people live in the last. Life at the tail of the train resembles a concentration camp. Disease, poverty, and the lawlessness of the guards. One man decides to rebel to restore justice.
This is your destiny.
It's all here!
The fourth installment in the Mad Max franchise, titled Mad Max Fury Road. Max alone plows the vast expanses of endless deserts without water and food, into which most of the planet has turned. All he has is a car, in which Mad Max moves along Fury Road. On his way, he will have to face great difficulties, experience many dangerous adventures, and fight with cruel gangs who are fighting with all their might for their own survival. A Quiet Place, Day 1, is a spin-off of the horror movie about deadly blind aliens. It was the first day of the alien invasion of planet Earth. People were just beginning to realize the danger they were facing. A young woman named Sam, her cat, and a few random strangers whose paths crossed in the midst of this chaos were hiding from the monsters in collapsing buildings. Overwhelmed by silent horror, the heroes desperately fought for their lives. Cargo. Movie events unfold in Australia, which is engulfed in a severe pandemic that turns people into zombies. A married couple, Andy and Kay, along with their 1-year-old daughter Rosie, are trying to escape the infection on a houseboat. But zombies attack their shelter. Kay dies, and Andy is infected. He has 48 hours before he turns into a zombie. During this time, Andy tries to find a safe place for his daughter Rosie. Stakeland is a dark post-apocalyptic movie that mixes elements of horror, fantasy, and drama. The world is in chaos after an epidemic turns most of humanity into bloodthirsty vampires. The story follows a young man named Martin who, together with an experienced vampire hunter known as Mr., sets out on a journey across a devastated America in search of safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines!
Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. A prequel to the movie Mad Max Fury Road. Furiosa was very young when the usual world began to crumble and disappear. The girl was kidnapped from her home. The biker horde, led by Dementus, now claims Furiosa as their property. While the bloody wars between Dementus and Immortan Joe continue, the girl tries to survive. From now on, the main goal of her life is to return home. The day after tomorrow. Paleoclimatologist Jack Hall tries to warn the US government about the impending catastrophe and the imminent onset of the Ice Age, but no one takes his words seriously. Meanwhile, 3 cyclones form on the surface of the planet, inside which there is a deadly cold.
Coming over the top!
World War Z. Movie plot shows a terrifying reality of the future. An army of the living dead is capturing country after country, continent after continent. Thousands of soldiers are dying trying to prevent the coming apocalypse. United Nations former employee Jerry Lane is racing against time to stop an infection that could completely destroy humanity. A Quiet Place tells us the story about Abbott family. Their entire life is subject to the mortal threat that comes from the mysterious creatures that inhabit the house. Any sound can provoke them, and family members are forced to communicate with each other using special gestures without saying a word, and move around the house extremely quietly. But is it possible to live your entire life without making a single sound?
Who are we if we can't protect them? We have to protect them.
Waterworld. Post-apocalyptic movie shows our planet in the future, where the polar ice is melted and almost the entire planet is underwater. Legends began to circulate around the world about an untouched piece of land suitable for life, but no one was able to find this place. An honest sailor wanders along the water surface, meeting different people along the way. In the new post-apocalyptic world, new values appear: soil, terrestrial plants, and fresh water suitable for drinking.
Oh my God.
The day. After a universal catastrophe, the Earth has turned into a scorched desert. 5 people wander along endless roads teeming with gangs, fighting among themselves for food. Hoping to find peace, they stop at a house that easily turns into a trap.
Stop! Help us!
A sequel to 28 Days Later, titled 28 Weeks Later, continues to show us stories of survival in a post-apocalyptic world. The movie takes place 28 weeks after the outbreak of the epidemic. The survivors live in the Green Zone, a London area protected by the American military. The focus is on the story of a family in whose blood the virus has mutated. A hereditary genetic feature allows them to be carriers of the virus without visible external signs. Land of the Dead. After a zombie apocalypse, the last surviving humans try to save themselves by hiding behind the impenetrable city walls of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Even in such a critical situation, social inequality is widespread in the city. The poor still live in the slums, and the elite reside in the central skyscraper. However, when people are attacked by new and much more dangerous creatures than zombies, all people will become equal in the face of danger. A Quiet Place, Part 2. Movie plot continues to tell about the survival of a group of people who escaped from alien invaders. 474 days have passed since the invasion. Abbott family leaves their home and seeks refuge in the outside world. Soon they arrive at the bunker of their friend, and soon they have a new hope. Perhaps somewhere on an island nearby there is a colony of survivors. Doomsday. A mysterious Reaper virus engulfs all of Scotland in 2008. It was decided to completely isolate the entire region of the country and to condemn the infected residents to a painful death. In 2035, the virus appeared again. The British government has no choice but to use its last chance. In extinct Scotland, a British reconnaissance satellite detected signs of human presence, which means that a vaccine against the virus may have been found in the quarantine zone. Bird Box. Movie follows Mallory Hayes, played by Sandra Bullock. In a post-apocalyptic world, a single mother with 2 children sets out to find other survivors. But the film's heroes must travel this path blindly. Thanks for watching this video about best post-apocalyptic movies all time. We hope that you enjoyed it. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to not miss new movie selections.